I believe that we shouldn't be afraid of any witness. What we're trying to do is arrive at the truth here. The question is, will the witnesses, after they're deposed, add anything that we don't already have? If they're going to add something substantive, something substantial, something explosive, that's one thing.
Bill.
But if they're not going to add to what already we have, that's another question.
There was Senator Richard Shelby back during Clinton's Senate impeachment trial. The Republican senator from Alabama joins us this morning as well. Senator Shelby, thank you for joining us this morning. Just showed that clip from President Clinton's impeachment trial. The Democrats are now calling for several witnesses who weren't heard during the House impeachment. So does that mean you support witnesses in this trial?
Well, we don't know that yet. We have a two-phase deal here like we did under the Clinton trial. First, we're going to hear from the managers and the arguments from both sides and see what kind of case they have and what we feel about it as senators. We'll be sitting, as you know, George, as kind of like jurors, and we were sworn the other day to follow the facts and render a decision accordingly and so forth. So that's what I intend to do. I have not prejudged anything. I have my own thoughts about things at this point, but we haven't heard any of the summaries, any of the arguments. I have kept up with much as I could with a lot of the anecdotal stuff that's gone on in the House and what's been said on TV and written. But at the end of the day, starting Tuesday, we're going to start the trial, and that's where we got to focus on. The trial ought to be fair. I do have some observations, though, at this point, and they're early and they're not conclusive. One, it looks to me at this juncture that the House has got a weak hand. They're wanting us in the Senate to open the case up and to try everything, retry their stuff. We don't know what's going to come.
But on that point,
week.
Senator, on that point, as you know, in the Clinton trial, you actually voted to consider 3 witnesses who were not considered by the House either. And what you're seeing here are witnesses like John Bolton, like Mick Mulvaney, the White House Chief of Staff. Isn't what they could add, doesn't that meet the test of new and relevant that you established in the Clinton trial?
Not what we did 21 years ago doesn't meet the test. What we do this week and what we hear and what are the facts that we hear will probably meet the test and determine whether we get additional witnesses that will help us make a relevant and a fair decision.
Isn't John Bolton relevant to this case?
Well, he could be. He might be. Would he add anything? I don't know yet, but I would be open to listening to the arguments, and I think that's the only way to be fair to both sides in this case. I think the House rushed to judgment on this. They could have pursued this a lot longer, but they made a political decision, and I think they've got problems now, and they want us to unwind their problems.
Every single impeachment trial that's gone to a conclusion has heard from witnesses. What would be the reason not to hear from witnesses in this trial?
Well, if the case looks so flimsy, as some people say, if it's nothing to it, it doesn't rise to impeachable offensive like a court of law. The court disposes of it. We don't know that yet. We should listen to the arguments, to the summation of the witnesses, what they will be going into, and go from there. That's what we did with Clinton, and then we made the second decision to subpoena some witnesses.
Do you agree with the position of Professor Dershowitz that even if all of the facts and allegations and evidence presented by the House are accepted as fact, it wouldn't be an impeachable offense?
Well, it looks to me that way at this point, but I would still wait and hear the arguments. I haven't focused on it. Professor Dershowitz is an esteemed scholar of constitutional law, and he's followed this, and he's outspoken, and a lot of people follow him. We have a lot of respect for a lot of his opinions, but ultimately, we will make that decision in the Senate.
Setting aside whether it's an impeachable offense, do you think it was proper for the president to solicit foreign interference in our election?
Well, I don't know that has been actually proven. You know, that's all in dispute of what happened, whether the Russians were involved in it, whether Ukrainians were involved in it, who was involved in it, and to what extent. But I've never seen anything where Trump actually was involved in.
Well, no, I asked if it was okay to solicit. We've seen the president in public ask the Ukrainians to get involved, ask the Chinese to get involved.
Well, those are just statements political. They make them all the time.
So it's okay?
I didn't say it was okay. I said people make them. People do things. Things happen.
Well, this is the president of the United States.
Well, it's still the President of the United States is human, and he's going to make mistakes of judgment and everything else. They have historically, both parties, both from the beginning of our republic.
So you say it was a mistake, but not necessarily impeachable?
Well, I'd say I don't believe, like Professor Derwish at this point, that it rises to the standard of an impeachable offense. But I still think we should wait and see what comes out in the trial itself.
Senator Shelby, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you, George.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.